These are all-time family favorites. I've been making chebureki for years. You should be able to rustle them very quickly. Simple dough, simple meat filling. And I will leave the link to the vegetarian version of cheburekis in the description to this video. Some wholemeal to the mix these days to make it more nutritious. And a splash of oil, some salt, but basically it's just flour and water. By all means, use water straight from the tap. I am using here freshly boiled water. I think I'm getting more elastic dough this way. And of course, it makes sense to start with the dough, and we will sort filling when the dough will be resting. Stiff or medium dough here will do. Never miss this step of letting dough rest. At least 15-20 minutes. You will see big difference when you roll it. It's much more pliable if it's rested. I am quickly sorting my filling, and I'm using same amount in weight onions to meat. The chebureki should be juicy, so when you bite to it, the juice should drip down your chin. You should really use fatty meat here, but I am only ever buying 5% mince. So to kind of compensate for the fact that it's not fatty, I would add some olive oil and milk. And of course lots of onions here. That will make filling juicy as well. So I process onions to the pulp, add my mince. And I put mince through the processor as well because I need very easily spreadable, like spreadable with the knife, texture of the filling. So lots of black pepper, salt, and a good splash of olive oil here. And I'm tasting here for salt and pepper. As it's a beef, I don't mind doing that. The dough rested and it feels much smoother than it was. I cover one half and the other half I split into pieces, roll each into a small ball. And ideally at this point you should give those little balls time to rest for another 15 minutes. But I normally start rolling them straight away. But I always notice the difference. The ones which I use towards the end, they roll out easier. I used strong bread flour when making this dough, so it's less likely to tear when I'm rolling it out thinly, and especially when I'm going to cook it. So keep turning your dough as you roll it out into a quite thin, flat breads. Cover half of the circle with the filling, which should be very easily spreadable. And don't go all the way to the edges though. So close the edges tightly, as tight as you can. Try to stretch your cheburek as you close the edges. Pull it in both sides to make it even thinner and kind of moon shape like. Go with your fingers quickly along the straight edge as well to make sure it's also thin. And if I have time, I go along the rounded edge with one of those implements. It will make it prettier, our cheburek, but also I cut off excess of dough, of empty dough, so we go straight to the filling when we bite into it. It's really worth doing this a little extra step. If I have time, I just make a batch first and then cook them, with my full attention. A big pancake pan here, 32 centimeters diameter. I cook them on a high heat, second to highest setting on my induction hob. No oil at all, dry pan. So keep the kitchen towel handy, wipe all the spillages. We shouldn't have them, and we are not looking for that sizzling noise here. Everything should be done nicely and quietly. They should remain whole. You can use oil when frying your goodies, even deep fry them. I never do that. I quite like cooking them on a dry pan. I think it's less mess, healthier, and you always can brush them with oil or butter once they are done.